Appreciate you helping this channel grow by hitting that like button, subscribing, sharing, commenting. Okay, let's jump right into it. Okay, this is the balance. So, they put out an article, and they're pretty thorough when it comes to where they get their information and their research. So I like to review and look at them to find out to balance out all the information I'm getting from other sources as well, and also to learn about new terms and sources that I can check out for myself, like the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which has a lot of these inflation numbers. For example, grocery lists. So they say in this headline, inflation jumps to the startling 6.2%, highest since 1990. So widespread consumer price increases fuel worrisome outlook. So I hope this is, I'm not trying to or with this information, hopefully you're balanced and you don't have any inflation fears, or you're not being negatively affected by inflation. I don't want to create any chronic stress or create fear. This is not what this channel is all about. Basically, this channel is just pretty much just a guy on YouTube just putting out information that I find might be important and interesting to know and learn and understand as a tool for your particular toolbox. All the mechanics out there know what I'm talking about. So everything such as information can be a tool, especially if you are the type of person who likes to delve in just a little bit deeper. And that's one of the things I see. Not everybody's a chess player. Some people play checkers, some people play Sudoku and whatever. But we can all learn something from chess players. The focus, thinking deeper, thinking, and not just looking at what's on the surface. When they're looking at the chessboard and at the chess pieces and the positions, etc. So there's a much more deeper issues going on behind the scenes, and you may not always get that firsthand experience or knowledge, or So on that note, so we're pretty much talking about widespread consumer price increases this time, instead of just the grocery list. So basically, fuel worrisome outlook. So the U.S. inflation rate accelerated to a startling 6.2% in October of 2021. A key gauge of consumer prices show the U.S. inflation rate, so far exceeding economists' estimates and marking the first time since 1990 it's been this high. Key takeaways: the prices in October were 6.2% higher than a year earlier, so October 2020, so marking the highest inflation rate since 1990. Even with inflation rates soaring this year, economists hadn't expected it to get this bad. Prices rose across a broad range of categories, including groceries, and I pretty much using the balance and the Bureau of Labor Statistics data, we pretty much went over in another video. If you're interested on the channel in watching or taking a quick look, we talked about groceries, how they're ranked by inflation within the month of October. So restaurant tabs, gas, home heating, oil. Oh man, home heating, that's gonna be a biggie. It's probably gonna rise way more than what it has already done, because now we're gonna be entering a winter, and I'm hearing rumors or hearing things. I'm not sure who I'm hearing them from, so I might need to check the Weather Channel or meteorologist reports or something like that. That this might be one of the coldest winters on record for a while, so it might be pretty cold, and hopefully places like Texas that got their power grid, and other parts of the country got their power grids under lock and key. But I wouldn't depend on governments and and to help you out in these type of situations, or their electric companies, utility companies. It's better to watch one of those shows that you'll probably see on one of these cable channels or streaming services about or social media about doomsday's preppers and stuff like that. At first, I used to think those people were kind of crazy and extremists in their views and about preparing for zombie apocalypse and worldwide pandemics and whatever that's in their imagination or minds, that either probably natural disasters that happened in the past or are currently happening in the present day, etc., and collapse of the government. You can go on and on, but Doomsday Preppers is a good show, and then they give them points for how much prep they've done, and then it also tells them where they fall short on their survival, and how long they can survive the particular situation. And so it's a pretty good show to watch. But on that note, it says right here that home heating, oil, rent, and cars, both new and used, have rose across the broad range of categories. So on that note, I will tell you much like you said, with the home heating and oil and things like that, I would be looking into alternative sources, especially when the power grids and other things like that go down. On the Doomsday Prepper shows, they, and other social media and cable television, etc., if they still have cable television or streaming services, they will definitely show you some methods and some ways of surviving winters, surviving whether you getting some type of backup electrical source or power source. Economists said that the trend could last longer than expected, and it might get worse before it gets better. So I'm not a alarmist, but economists they work off of mathematical models, and whether you like them or not, or agree with them or not, um, they're using math. Uh, and as far as what I know about math is that the numbers don't lie. Politicians and economists and whoever, they could have political or have particular or specific agendas, um, you know, that may be or may not be in your best interest or in our best interest, but when you look at math, like say for instance, the math to pay off your mortgage or your amortization schedule, you look at the numbers there in black and white. They tell you the truth. They tell you what's going on. You look at the annual report or quarterly report, semi-annual, whatever of a company. The numbers are right there in black and white, and yeah, people can lie, or modify the truth or whatever you want to call it, but the numbers, they don't lie. If a company is $172 per share today, and then tomorrow it's $72 or $100 a share, it's a fact. It's not like to argue about. You can't say like it didn't drop in share price or anything, or something's not going on, or something's not wrong, or something may be wrong. So you really have to just look at the numbers, and the numbers will tell you the story before you start listening to all the noise of what people think and what may be their opinion. It could be right or wrong, or in between, or neither. But numbers and math, and so if economists say that the trend could last longer than expected, and it might get worse before it gets better, I think, and this could be worldwide as well, not just only in the U.S., or apply to other countries and globally. I think people need to wake up and, I know they're going to spend a lot for the holidays and for birthdays and this and that, whatever, but they might want to just wake up. And I understand a lot of people don't want to wake up. They don't want to leave the matrix. I get that. It's very comfortable, not to leave the matrix, but I believe this, that if you want to protect yourself and your family, not saying become paranoid or have massive anxiety and chronic stress, etc., but I'm saying that take small steps to prepare to keep yourself and your family safe. That's all I'm saying. In many ways, not just from zombie apocalypse and pandemics and et cetera, but you might want to keep your family safe financially as well. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you have like massive amounts of debt, that is bad debt, like like this one comedian, was like talking about, I think it was George Carlin. It was talking about like it pissed him off. You got this knucklehead taking out of his fanny pack or whatever his credit card to pay for like a 50 cent or $1 candy bar or something like that. And and then most likely the individual may not pay off his credit card and then wind up paying 10 times what the candy bar was worth. So be careful with that, and and just prepare yourself financially, or in a way that that you and your family will be able to survive any scenario, any situation. Um, like the 2020, worldwide pandemic, and the 2021 worldwide pandemic. And also, by the way, if you haven't noticed or gotten the word, and you're planning on traveling to Europe, you might want to hold off for a while. But I'm not telling you not to, but I'm just saying you might want to, consider or reconsider, because I think it was on Apple News. They put out a article on Europe, Germany, and around countries around Germany or nearby Germany are considering new restrictions because they just got another major outbreak there of the coronavirus. So, that's another issue or very serious in keeping yourself and your family safe. But yeah, if you got the money and the time and you want to go to Germany or you want to go to any country that's out there, go be it. For me personally, I don't feel like it's the right time for traveling, even though I really have the travel itch or the travel bug. But the best I can do right now is read books and watch on social media. People traveling around the world and doing things that I've done and would like to continue to do. I definitely miss those, the convenience stores like Lawson's and Family Mart in Japan, and I miss the vending machines in Japan. I miss a lot of things about my time in Japan and also my time in many other countries. I miss that I can mention and put on that list. But yeah, definitely I got the travel bug and itching to. But at the same time, I understand that this is something like what the economists just pretty much said with the inflation, and prices getting higher or rising more and more and more, and it's gonna get worse before it gets even better. Or it's just gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse. The bottom line is that who knows what's going to happen with the coronavirus and stuff like that. But we know, just like the flu, and the common cold and all these other things, they're here to stay. So this is really some serious stuff. It's not like getting the measles and all these other smallpox and all. I mean, I'm sorry. The measles, chickenpox, and all, etc., and all those things that they wiped out, polio, whatever, that they wiped out. What we're experiencing now is stuff that that's been mutating and changing. Like the flu virus or HIV virus or something. It's just crazy like that. It's just like so it's not something that only a few people are getting. This is something that is quickly, especially with air travel and a lot of ways of people to travel and come in contact with each other from different. So viruses and things. Their goal is to be able to spread. So if but of course this isn't like Ebola where it just kills off somebody right away and it doesn't have a chance to spread. And its success is in spreading and multiplying, is they wind up killing their host right away, So it's not a really successful virus, but like viruses like Ebola or H1N1 and things like that. Whereas this corona, is a little bit more successful because it doesn't even have to show symptoms, for a very, very long time, and you can be asymptomatic, not showing any symptoms. You can have symptoms, but they may be different from what the other person who may have the same same virus or coronavirus. So and as we already know, for whatever reason, people don't like wearing masks. They don't like washing their hands. They don't like staying, a certain amount of distance from another person or other people, especially even strangers. They like to, get up and close and personal with even strangers and family members and things like that, So, and also animals, hugging them and kissing them and all that type of stuff. So it's like, I tell you, so it's like gonna be a really, really difficult uphill battle, when you're dealing with people and their culture and them feeling uncomfortable or their comfort level, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and also when you're dealing with jobs and you're dealing with people's livelihoods and stuff, and people are like, it's just really interesting, that it's been almost 2 years now, 2020, 2021, going on 2022. We have like a month and a half left of this year, 2021, and we're still dealing with the coronavirus, and it's even more highly dangerous variants. In the U.S., they just pretty much just came out with, to put this on a health note, this came out with the vaccine for children 5 to 11, using the Pfizer vaccine, which was approved for the children from 5 to 11. So it's crazy, It's really, really crazy right now, and also they approved of boosters. I mean, there's a small population that still haven't gotten their first vaccine, but and don't want to wear masks, and then you got, but so like it makes it even more important and even more vital now to make sure your family, if they did receive the first vaccine, to get a booster, and and also definitely flu shot, because the winter is definitely coming up, and you definitely, you don't want to get the worst of a flu or the coronavirus or anything like all those things. So yeah. So anyway, it talks about that the consumer price index, perhaps the most widely referenced measure of inflation, jumped another 0.9% between September and October, and is now 6.2% higher than a year ago. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, and Wednesday, not only was the acceleration sharp, the year-over-year inflation rate rose from an already high of 5.4 in September, but price increases were widespread across most major categories of purchase. Economists had been anticipating a monthly bump of 0.6% and a 5.9% increase for the 12 months, according to, and that's pretty much very true, because the Social Security, this is why everybody's surprised, because the Social Security Administration put out that their cost of living um, based on the consumer price index, et cetera, will be 5.9%. And so anyone who has SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, or SSI, etc., or receiving Social Security, they will receive a 5.9% increase based upon the CPI and inflation in their checks. So, and then of course the VA and others use the Social Security to whatever they decide to jump up. If they decide 5.9, then they will jump up 5.9 in their checks or payouts. But I guess it's going to stay 5.9, even though it actually really came out to be 6.2%. So prices of everything from groceries, rent, gas, medical care, to cars, dinner out, and cigarettes climbed during the month, giving experts reason to worry that the sticker shock stemming from pandemic disruptions isn't going away anytime soon and may get worse before it gets better. The broad-based nature of the increases meant that even the core inflation rate, which includes food and energy prices, because they are prone to wild swings, shot up, accelerating from 4% in the year through September to 4.6% in the year through October. The core inflation rate, by that measure, is the highest rate since 1991. The onslaught of inflation continued in October. Economists at Wells Fargo Securities said in commentary the breadth of price increases cannot be ignored and suggests any softening in the overall price of inflation remains a way off. Things are getting rapidly more expensive, even as some indicators, economic and otherwise, suggest life is starting to return to normal after the crushing COVID-19 pandemic. Inflation is hotter not only because shortages of materials and workers are making things harder to get, but because there's a lot of consumer demand, fueled in many cases by pandemic-era government aid that didn't just go to people who had lost their jobs. The last time the overall inflation rate was this high, the Soviet Union still existed. Home Alone was in theaters, and Vanilla Ice was at the top of the charts. So it goes on and on and on, talks about energy prices, oil prices, cars, used and new, trucks, so clothes, doctor visits, insurance. And while demand for workers has been pushing wages higher, earnings didn't keep up with price increases in October. The BLS said in its report of real earnings, also released Wednesday. Hourly wages increased 0.4% in October, but because of the 0.9% increase in CPI, real earnings fell by 0.5%. So wages aren't keeping up.